My name is Kaitlyn Clark. I'm a 7-time Ontario provincial champion in the sport of boxing and a 2-time national champion, and I'm currently a member of Team Canada. What is confidence to me? I think confidence is something that you earn and something that you have to grow into. Confidence is when you practice something like religiously and you eventually just innately believe that you can do it. But I also think that confidence is something that you have to actually practice, like diving into, especially in a sport like boxing. I actually struggle with confidence. I know that I have the skills, but sometimes I'm like, can I execute it at that level? So sometimes confidence is risk-taking and also relying on your team when you need a little bit of a confidence boost to really take in those words of encouragement. One of my biggest mentors. I think if I were to pick somebody, it would be Ariane 410. She is a 2-time world champion in the sport of boxing and a former Olympian. She was an athlete who had close to probably 100 fights and had been on the national team for years. And then women's boxing was put into the Olympics in 2012. There was only 3 weight classes, so her and another girl had to both move up and then compete. And our national sporting organization kind of manipulated a fight that held her back from winning with the scoring. And from then, they told her that they wouldn't send her to any events, they wouldn't develop her, they wouldn't release her to another country to be able to fight, even though she was the best in the world. So she stuck around the sport for an extra 4 years and pretty much just trained. She couldn't find fights. And then right after the 2012 Olympics at the next Nationals, she absolutely dominated against the girl that had gone for Canada to the Olympics, took her spot back, podiumed at every tournament she went to, basically took what was hers to begin with, and then competed at the 2016 Olympics. And now she's a national team coach. So in terms of coaching mentors, one-on-one, definitely my coach, Sid Vanderpool. As a boxer, he was a great boxer. And a lot of athletes, I think translating your athletic career into coaching is very difficult. You don't see a lot of really high performance athletes that can be great coaches, but he's one of those anomalies. As a coach, we've been working together for 6 years, coach athlete. And during that time, he has just stood by me on every decision that I've made. He's helped guide me, but also challenged me on some decisions. And I think just his openness and willingness to learn as he develops as a coach as well. He's 20 years into a coaching career and he's still actively developing, which is huge. He recently, in the last 5 years, took on a lot of female boxers, coaching females is very different than coaching males, and I think across the board in every sport. But in a combat sport like boxing, I think you do see a big difference. And so he got out of his comfort zone and just started learning more and listening to us more and very much modifying his coaching techniques and styles to better suit women. So I think that he's just a solid person to look up to and use as a guiding post. It's funny actually, I think the one thing, it's such a weird thing when it comes to boxing, but I had a really challenging time a couple years ago, and then I came back to the sport and I lost a decision that I shouldn't have lost. It was more of a political decision, and I wanted to cry. And he just looked at me, he was like, never let them see you cry. And that says stuck with me, because it's never show that when you're going into battle, don't show the emotion, don't show the fear. And when things don't go your way, don't show it. Just keep a brave face, enjoy the moment, and don't allow whatever's externally happening to impact you that much internally, that you elicit such an emotional reaction during a time like that. A solid mentor has the ability to listen, to effectively communicate, but also is open to learning from their mentee. I think that when you approach a situation if you're in a leadership role or a mentor role, and sometimes people think that they might know it all, and as soon as you think you know it all, that's it. There's no more growth opportunities. So I think a good mentor is somebody who's willing to continue to learn, no matter where they are along in their career, but also is open to different perspectives and learning from different people regardless of where that other person is in their career. So what's funny is I actually had that happen today. So I just came off a training camp and I was back in the gym, and I'm in a sparring group with all these guys that are heavyweights. So I'm not a heavyweight, I am also not a man. So today I was doing rounds with Denton Daly. He's a retired pro fighter. He probably weighs 100 pounds more than me now, and he's a man. And even when he pulls his punches, that's a lot of force for me to run into. So I was doing like half round with him and half round with another guy that's 200 pounds. And like, they're skilled, so it's tough. And I actually like had a bit of a panic attack. And so I like walked away and I like sat there and I was just like, control your breathing. And I said, you have to get back in there. So that's like something I tell myself when I'm having those moments, like you have to get back in there, I have to face this. I can't allow this to like, if I succumb to this now, it's gonna create a ripple effect and I'm not gonna be able to move forward effectively. So I was like just telling myself like, you got this, take a breath, take your moment, but you have to get back in there. And then I went in there and I like lit him up. Yeah, so boxing does have a lot of physical training, but I would say it's 90% mental because you can be in great shape, you can know how to throw a punch, you can know how to block a punch, but it's what do you do when you actually get hit? Mentally, I think that's what separates combat sports from a lot of other sports. It's like someone's not just scoring more goals on you or like beating you in a race. It's like you're physically getting beat up. So I think the emotional toll that takes is huge. But yeah, just being able to like visualize what you want to accomplish, every day of training. So as I'm putting my hand wraps on, I'm visualizing like, this is how I want to look, or this is what our goal is today, and here's how I'm going to accomplish it. So I think that visualization piece, as well for me, it's like really communicating verbally how I feel about things. So like before a fight, I look at Sid every time and I go, man, I'm so nervous. But I just say it and like, I don't need a reaction out of him. I just need to like put it out in the world so that it's no longer inside of me. But yeah, I think just like being willing to communicate how you actually feel about it and being honest and open, because if you try to hide it, it's gonna eat at you. And then also like visualizing those moments of, not just having your hand raised, you're winning a fight, but you're getting beat up, what are you gonna do? So being able to like live through those moments before they happen, so that way when it does come, you know what to do. A daily wellness routine is something that I actually have to struggle. I struggle with a little bit. I'm very much go, go, go all the time, and I don't like a lot of downtime. So something I have been working on, but I like to start my mornings just, it's just me. My wife sleeps in a little bit later, which is nice. So it's like my one dog and I, we get up, we have coffee, like we sit on the couch and I just like look at the day, like what do I have to accomplish today? And then like I just reflect on, okay, like yesterday, this is how yesterday went. Here's how we're going into today. These are X, Y, Z is what I want to accomplish today. To hopefully set myself up for success for the day. And then usually it's training in the morning and then the day kind of keeps going from there. I think if I could give people one piece of advice, I think it would be kind of like twofold. So one piece would be like, just pursue your goals with like fiery passion. Like don't let other people like tell you that you can't, or even tell you that you can, because if you listen to the good stuff, you're gonna listen to the bad stuff. So it's like pick your circle, pick your 3, 4, 5 people that you are gonna listen to and kind of block the rest out and go after what you want. But then the other piece is like, I truly believe that as people, we need to leave things better than we found them. So even though you might not accomplish necessarily like what you want to accomplish in sport, from like a win-loss perspective, leave it better than you found it. So like treat people with respect, help educate people, grow as a person. So yeah, I think those are the two things that I would tell somebody. Okay, so actually that kind of piggybacks on what I just said. I don't know that it's like a motivational quote. I think it's more inspiring, but there's this football player, his name is Inky Johnson. And he does like, basically he does like talks now. He does TED Talks and stuff, but he came from poverty and he ended up getting a football scholarship, like changed his whole family's life. And then right before he got signed in the NFL, he got tackled and he actually lost like all feeling in his one arm. And to this day, like his arm is like he can't use it. So his whole career just kind of stopped. But in one of these talks, he's like, I was on the plane for the first time and I went to the washroom and there's this little sign and said, clean up after yourself and leave it better than you found it for the next person. And that's kind of like how I look at everything, where it's, I'm gonna leave it better for the next person. So whether that means when I'm training, like push a little bit harder, because like my coach is like also feeding off my energy and like he's giving his time up for me too. So like try really hard, do my best, leave it better than I found it, but also from like an athlete perspective and like a role model perspective, like how can I change our sport for the better and how can I impact the people that I meet along the way so that for that next generation coming up, like it's better for them.